The Vineyard of the Golden Light, a bedtime story inspired by chapter 20, Gospel of Matthew. In a valley where the skies turned lavender at dawn and the breeze whispered lullabies through the olive trees, there was a vineyard unlike any other. The grapes here shimmered faintly like pearls, and their sweetness was said to come from the kindness of the landowner's heart. The vineyard belonged to a gentle man named Elior, whose name meant God is my light. He was no ordinary master. He walked barefoot on the warm soil of his land, talked to the birds, and always greeted the sun with a smile and a blessing. His eyes were kind, deep like quiet lakes, and when he spoke, even the winds seemed to pause to listen. One morning, just as the sleepy stars began to blink away and the horizon blushed with the early sun, Elior stepped out into the village square. The dew was still on the petals, and the air was cool and soft. There, he saw some villagers waiting with hopeful eyes and calloused hands. They were looking for work. "My vineyard needs tending," Elior said with a warm voice. "Come, and I will give you what is fair." And so, the first group followed him joyfully through the golden fields, their footsteps quiet on the path lined with rosemary and thyme. The vines welcomed them with arching arms heavy with fruit, and the work began with songs and laughter. As the sun climbed higher into the pale blue sky, Elior returned to the village at the third hour. More workers stood waiting, their eyes weary but watchful. "Come," Elior said again. "There is still room for your hands in my vineyard." They followed, walking along the same rosemary path, the fragrance wrapping around them like a soft shawl. The vineyard greeted them with the scent of grapes, sunlight on leaves, and the laughter of those already at work. Again, at the sixth hour, and even at the ninth, Elior returned, each time finding more waiting. Some were older, their backs bent like the hills. Others were young, with nervous smiles. And still, Elior welcomed them, saying only, "There is still work to be done, and still grace to be shared." Finally, when the sun had begun to dip, painting the clouds in honey and rose, Elior walked into the village one last time. There, in the quiet corner of the square, stood a few who had not been chosen all day. Their faces held both hope and sorrow. "Why have you stood here all day doing nothing?" Elior asked gently. "No one has hired us," they answered, their voices low as the evening wind. Elior looked at them with a smile soft as moonlight. "Then come," he said. "Even now, there is still time." They followed him, even as the shadows grew longer and the golden light bathed the vineyard in peace. They worked just a short while, plucking grapes, tying vines, singing quiet songs that blended with the hum of twilight. As the stars returned, Elior called his steward and said, "Bring the workers and pay them, beginning with the last." And so, those who had worked only 1 hour received a full silver coin, bright and smooth like a moonstone. Their eyes widened with joy and surprise. Those who had toiled from the first hour watched with curiosity. But when it was their turn, they too received the same silver coin. Some among them murmured, "We worked through the heat of the day. Should we not receive more?" Elior turned to them, his eyes filled with gentle understanding. "My friends," he said, "did I not promise you what was fair? Take your silver and go in peace. I have chosen to give to the last as I gave to you. Is it not my right to be generous? Or do you begrudge my kindness?" The murmurs quieted like a breeze passing through tall grass. And then the vineyard was silent under the velvet sky, stars twinkling overhead like tiny promises. The workers sat together under olive trees, sipping cool water, sharing stories and laughter. There was no envy left, only gratitude for the vineyard, for the silver, and for the light-hearted master who saw each one, not by how long they had labored, but by the love with which they came. And in the hush of night, as the crickets began their lullaby, and the vineyard glowed silver under the moon, a truth settled gently over them, that in Elior's vineyard the last were not forgotten, and the first were still beloved. That grace was not earned by hours, but given freely, like rain on a thirsty land. So they rested, curled in the warmth of blankets and vines, their hearts as full as the baskets they carried. And the vineyard of the golden light slept peacefully under the watchful gaze of heaven, where mercy blooms as endlessly as stars. If this brought you a moment of peace, feel free to subscribe for more calming content each day. Now, dear one, as you close your eyes and let this day slip away, remember the one who does not break the bruised reed, the one who heals gently, who teaches with wisdom, who speaks with calm. He is the Lord of rest, the comforter of the weary, the keeper of your soul. May your dreams be filled with golden fields and quiet streams. May your heart rest in the peace of knowing you are seen, loved, and called family by the one who walks through grain fields, still speaks truth, and always offers rest. Good night. Sleep peacefully in his embrace.